All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahar Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in this truth. I'm Bathaka Jim as Dallas. I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson, and I'm going to entitle this one, The Names Are Vital to Salvation. You know, the names are vital to salvation, man, because you have groups out here and Israelites in general that's neglecting and taking the names for granted. You know, you have groups saying that we don't have the names, you know, which really makes no sense at all. You know, mocking the names, making videos, mocking the names, making fun of the names, you know. I forget what they actually called him, yogurt or something to that effect, you know, mocking the names, you know, saying we don't have them. And then you have those calling on the wrong names, you know, Yahuwah, Yeshua, Ahaya, and Yeshaya, you know, which are not the names. The two biblical names are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And you can feel the power in those names, you know. And then you have those that are actually calling on those names, but, you know, they're calling on the names insincerely. You know what I'm saying? And all are being exposed in these times, man. You know, ISUPK, you know, the scandal that's going on over there right now, you know, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? They're saying that the head man over there, the general, is guilty of some things that are not good, man. You know, allegedly. I'm not saying that he did it. I don't know, you know, but it's a lot of things not looking good, man. You know, and then you have the Sakari with everything with the head over there. You know what I'm saying? You know, things being exposed over there with all them cats, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you got the IUIC, you know, and all the scandal that's been going on over there for a pretty good little while, man. You know what I'm saying? Remember Joy Morgan, you know, and then of course that trans to the vest, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Lord is taking action, man. So, you know, hey, it is what is it, you know, and as the title reflects, man, you know, the names are very important, very vital to salvation, man. You know what I'm saying? Those names are our help, man. But you got these dudes talking trash on them. So without any further ado, let's just get into the scriptures, man. You know, let's get Psalms, chapter 124. And we're going to drop down to verse 8, the last verse. It says, Psalms 124 and 8, our help is in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who made heaven and earth. So our help is in the names, man. You know what I'm saying? How you going to, you know, talk trash about that, man, or bring your mouth to say that we don't have the very names that our help is in? You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense, bro. You know, Psalms 124 and 8 again. Our help is in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who made heaven and earth. So that's where our help lies, man. Our help lies within the names that were given us, man. You know. So hey, and we were given those names, man. The scriptures say that, which I ain't, you know, you can. These scriptures are everything is in the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? And my question would be, you know, to anybody saying that we don't have the names, why would you teach we don't have the names, or why would you do wicked acts, you know, behind the scenes, you know, slashed closed doors, you know, and call on those names insincerely, you know? That's why we're in a time of the Lord exposing, you know, all the crap that, you know, the things done behind the scene and behind closed doors, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's explained, you know, because the scriptures say in Jeremiah the 5th chapter. Matter of fact, let's just get it. Jeremiah the 5th chapter and verse 26, I believe. Salakia. Yep. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26, and it reads, "For among my people are found wicked men." You know, and these cats are starting to see that there's a lot of wickedness, man. There's wicked men, man. At the end of the day, it's just wicked, bro. It says they lay wait And Salakia, they lay wait as he that setteth snares, which is a trap, which is going to go into it. They set a trap. There it is. They catch men. And that's what's going on in these establishments, man. You know, and they're not sincere, man. They're not trying to, they don't have care for the flock, you know. They're not feeding the sheep. The Lord said, feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my sheep, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scriptures say what is it? I believe it's Jeremiah the 23rd chapter. Woe to the pastors that lead my flock astray, man. You know. But verse 27, it says, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Yeah, all these you know, all these things going on behind the scenes, behind them closed doors, man. It's very deceitful, and they fooling the people that you know when they come before them, man. You know, it says, therefore they are become great and waxing rich. You know, yeah, you got millionaires in this thing, man. I heard I believe that the number that the cat over there at Sakari quoted was like 100 or so, did he say 6 figures in a day or was it a week? I can't remember, but he quoted a pretty high number. Yeah, the Hebrew and the Hellcat, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all they waxing rich, man. The money, man. You know, all these different little GoFundMe accounts and different things. You know, charging for breakdowns and charging for you know the memorabilia and the you know the t-shirts and hats and with fringes and all this. Hey, bro, you know, making the house of the Lord a house of merchandise, man, which the Lord is completely against. You know, so you got these cats out here doing these things, man. That's why he says, among my people are found wicked men, man. They're wicked at the end of the day. Verse 28, it says, they are waxing fat, they shine. Yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. And that's the thing, man. You know what I'm saying? When Jake get a hold of something, you know, as a matter of fact, there's another scripture that says that the deeds of the righteous has surpassed that of the wicked. Roughly paraphrasing, you know, Jake go overboard, man. They too much, man. They put too much on it, man. You know what I'm saying? So their deeds are surpassing that of the wicked. It says they judge not the cause of the fatherless, which is Jake, you know, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, of Negro descent, you know, who make up the 12 no longer lost tribes. We know who we are in these times, know who our enemies are in these times, which is all 17 other nations outside of the nation of Israel, primarily the Edomites, which is the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, which is a social construct that came about in 1681, man. There are no black people, there are no white people. There's 2 color schemes, brown and red, you know, so everything is very clear in these times. So it says they call the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Yeah, ain't no judging going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And hey, at the end of the day, you know, they're leading these camps are leading, and these wayward groups and stuff are leading the majority of the nation of Israel, which is basically the 2/3 astray, man, which is their lot. They're supposed to, you know, they're supposed to be, you know, Zechariah 13:8, you know, 2 parts shall be cut off and deleted, man. You know what I'm saying? They got to go away. So, verse 29, it says, shall I not visit for these things? And the Lord is visiting, man. That's why all these scandals and all of these things are coming out. A lot of things are being exposed behind those closed doors, behind those scenes, man. That's going on, man. That the wickedness is being exposed. And trust me, the Lord ain't done, man. There's more coming, you know. Ultimately, destruction, you know, lest ye repent, man. So it says, shall I not visit for these things, saith Yahweh Shai Shai? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? So that vengeance from the Lord is coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what they have to look forward to. You know, you want to be, you know, wicked, you know, hey, this is what's coming for that, man. You know what I'm saying? But back to the subject at hand, you know, which the title reflects, you know, the names are vital to salvation, man. And you got these groups out here on some madness. So real quick, let's go to come on, Satan. Look at Satan, man. It would do that right as I was trying to click to wow, the timing, man. It's Ephesians 6 in full effect, man. You can clearly see these things, man. You know. What was I going? Let's go to Proverbs, the 18th chapter. And we're going to drop down to verse 10, and it reads, the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So the name of the Lord is a strong tower, bro. You know? Wow. You know? Yeah. Come on, man. That's very clear, man. The name of the Lord, that tells me that it's about the names. You have to know, you have to know the names, man. If it's a strong tower, you know, how are the righteous going to run into it and be safe if we don't have them, man? You got to be able to call on the names to that's running into it, calling on them. But you got these groups saying we don't have them. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So you got the righteous calling on his name. That's running into the name. They're the ones that's going to be safe, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to camp out here giving you the wrong names or telling you that we don't have the names. You know what I'm saying? Giving you calling on the names insincerely, then the Lord ain't dealing with them. They're not going to be safe in the coming times, man. Jacob's trouble. You know, they're not going to be safe. You know, and you have to know the names the Lord gave them. So real quick, let's get that in Proverbs, the 30th chapter. It's Proverbs 30 and verse 4, and it reads, who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? And everybody can't tell, man. The name wasn't given to everybody. The true names were given to the remnant, man, the elect that's returning in these times, man. You know what I'm saying? They have the names, man. What is his name? Talking about the Heavenly Father, which his true biblical name is Yahweh. And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Yahweh Shai, man. But everybody don't have those names. You know what I'm saying? And some do have it. And again, they're calling on the names deceitfully, insincerely, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're being exposed. It's all being exposed in these times, man. These groups love to talk about GMS and how wicked GMX is, and you know, pedophiles and mess with little girls and you know, all this madness just because GMS breaks down the grape doctrine, you know, to the T, how the Bible breaks it down, man. You know, but you haven't had anything come out on a GMS member, you know. Ain't no scandals amongst GMS, you know, but everybody seems to like to call us the GMS wicked, man. But you can't bring no wickedness out on us. But all these other, that very thing, all these things are coming out on them, man. You know, starting with that nigga Polite, man. You know, he used to call us the very thing that he was. He was doing the very thing that he was accusing us of doing. Ain't nothing ever come out on GMS, but look at him. Behind bars for that very thing that he was accusing us of. Same thing with a lot of these other camps, man. The things are coming out on them. You know what I'm saying? So I think in these times you're starting to kind of see, you know, who, like the Lord says, then shall you see, roughly paraphrasing, whom am I chosen, man? 2nd Ezra 16th chapter. You know, so yeah, you know, you ain't finding no dirt on GMS, man, but you love to call them wicked, man. You know, but it is what it is, bro. You know, what's his name and what's his son's name, if thou canst tell? And most of these cats can't tell. It wasn't given to them, you know. So, hey, it is what it is. But those names are important. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they're vital to salvation. So let's go to Malachi, the 1st chapter. And we're going to drop down to verse 14. And very last verse, and it reads, but cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock, Salakia, a male, and voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of armies, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. So the heathen, the names are dreadful. Why you got them fakes in the land? They ain't calling on a name. They're calling on Hashem, which means the name. But what are the names? You know, what is his son's name? Salakia, what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Of course, they can't tell. It wasn't given to them. They're heathen. You know, they're Edomites, man. You know, faking and fronting over there, man. You know what I'm saying? But to you Jakes, Here, I got another question. How is a name we don't have a strong tower for the elect and dreadful among the heathen if we don't have them? We don't have names. How in the hell is it dreadful to, what's dreadful to the heathen then? You know, we don't have names. How is it a strong tower for the elect, man? That's going to run into it and be safe. Come on, bro. It don't make sense. Not adding up, man. You know, no, bro. We have the names, man, and the elect are calling on those names, man, which will definitely, you know, in the times we're coming into, they're going to come into play, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to pay off, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to bring out a few more, and then we're going to bring this lesson to a close. Get Malachi, the 2nd chapter now. And we're going to jump down to verse 2, and it reads, Malachi 2:2. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart to give glory unto my name, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of armies, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart. And that's why all these things are happening to these groups, man. You know, they're being exposed. The wickedness is being shown. You know, they're basically, their skirt is being lifted just like Esau's, man. You know what I'm saying? All that crap they doing behind the scenes, behind closed doors, man. You know what I'm saying? So, because the Lord is cursing their blessing, he's cursing, you know, he's putting curses on them. You know, he's cursing their asses, man. You know, because they're taking it, they're neglecting the names, they're insincere with the names, or they're calling on the wrong names. You know what I'm saying? Which is very vital to salvation. So let's get this in Acts 4 and verse 12, and it reads, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. There it is, man. There is no other name. So you have to have the name. They're important, man. And they're going to come into play in these coming end times, man, that we're in. You know, that celebration, you know, that ceremony. And as a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 2, and we're going to jump down to verse 45 and just kind of get to the point. I love to start up, but look at this, man. Satan, bro. Never fails. I don't know why I got to go to another verse to get this to show up. Satan hindering things, trying to. He ain't stopping nothing. But this 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 45, and it reads, he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. So the ones that's calling on the names are the ones that's going to be crowned and receive the palms, man. You know what I'm saying? Not the ones that's saying that we don't have them. Not the ones that's calling on the wrong names. Not the ones that's calling on the names insincerely, man. But those sincere, you know, that's put off the mortal, put on the immortal, and confess the names. This is that ceremony, and you know, once after the beam up, man. You know what I'm saying? They've confessed the name of the Most High, and now they crowned and received palms. Verse 46, it says, then said I unto the angel, what young person is this that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? Which is going into Yahushua. 47. So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High, Yahushua, whom they have confessed in the world. Boom. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. There it is, man. You know, those are going to receive the crowns and palms. They're going to be in that ceremony. Those that's calling on the names. Everything else, you know, hey, fire and brimstone, man. Fire, if you make it that far, you know, so, yeah, Gurkha troops, it's all kind of other ways you can be taken out, man. But believe you me, you will be taken out, you know. Zechariah 13 and 8 has to come to pass, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get one more just to add to the point. This is John chapter 16, and we're going to jump down to verse 23. And Yahushua speaking here. and it says prayer promises. So when you pray, John 16 and 23. So just remember this, man. If you praying, if you praying, man, and you ain't calling on no names, bro, come on, man. Or you're praying to a false name, a name that's not the names, or if you're praying to those names insincerely, they will not be answered, man. This is John 16 and 23, red letters Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, and in that day ye shall ask me nothing. Verily, verily, or truly, truly, I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall ask the Father, which is Yahweh, you have to know that. You can't ask him anything if you don't know his name. You got to call upon him to ask him. So that means you got to know his name. Whatsoever ye shall ask the Father in my name. So you have to know his name too. This is the Son. What is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Proverbs 30 and 4. Come on, man. You know, it says, whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it. He will give it you. But you're going to have to know him to be able to ask that. You got to be able to call upon the names. Verse 24, hitherto have ye asked nothing in my name. Ask, and ye shall receive, that your joy may be fulfilled. So how is our joy going to be fulfilled if we don't have names to ask these things for our joys to be fulfilled? Come on, bro. Or if you're called on the wrong names, you know, or if you're calling on the names insincerely, man. No, bro. You gotta be sincere. You gotta call on the names, man, if you want those joys to be fulfilled, man. You know. So yeah, if you want to receive of the Father Yahweh, you gotta be able to know the Most High Yahweh's name, because you gotta call on him to be able to talk to him, to ask, and then you have to ask in his son's name, which is Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and then you will receive, man. He will give it you. So there it is, man. The names are vital to salvation, man. You know, but you have to have them, and we have them. The elect have them. Yeah, we know what it is, bro. So with that, hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Ruach HaKodesh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shal, Dawadat, Shalom.